Boom, we're back, and today we have two fresh white belts, Preston on the left and Shane with the gi pants on the right. Both these guys are very high energy from what I've learned from this role, and they might even give other white belts that have been on the channel a run for their money. Preston goes for a snap down, but Shane quickly grabs the leg and he's able to take him down towards the mat. However, this is only going to last for about half a second because Preston's working his way back up. This doesn't bother Shane, however, because he grabs the single leg again and then he's working towards the deep waist. Preston looks for a sweep from the dogfight position, but he ends up on bottom. But something nice about Preston, which you're going to notice, is that he has very long limbs, and this will definitely help him out in his jiu-jitsu journey. He locks down half guard using a figure 4, and the figure 4 is great to keep their leg in tight so they won't be able to pass your guard. The only bad part is that putting yourself in this type of position does not leave you open to many sweeps. It does give you time, however, to look for underhooks, and Preston has a pretty good underhook at this time, and he's also going to employ some hip rotation. He swings towards the left, and then he's coming back towards the right. This allows him to get all the way towards the deep waist, but Shane is going to counter by going towards the front headlock. Because of this, Preston can't use the deep waist, but he can go right into full guard, using those long legs to pull himself back into a safe position. Something I love to see and that Preston's doing is he's a pretty active guard. He's attacking both the wrists and he's throwing his legs up in the air looking for a triangle. Sure, he's not able to get the submission and Shane is quickly able to push the legs down, but at least he's staying active and he's keeping his options open. Shane does a nice job going towards that guillotine attack where he wants to control the back of the neck. If you can't get the submission, at least you can pull their head in towards you. You can set up kratos and other passes by doing this. Shane is really new, however, so I don't expect him to do any of those passes. But while he's trying to get out of here, let's do my question of the day. What is your worst submission in all of jiu-jitsu? For example, I think my worst submission is the Americana. I can't recall ever doing an Americana in a roll through all my years of experience. Let me know what submission you're worst at and I'll try and help you out in the comments if I can. Shane is looking for the guillotine, but he has a few little problems when he's going towards this. The first thing to notice that this is an arm-in guillotine. When it's arm-in, that means you need to have a lot of compression. But Preston is pushing him forward, so he's not on his right hip like he needs to be. Because he's not on his right hip, his elbows are also in a really awkward position where they're way too high and you can't use your chest to help you out at all for this submission. It's actually good for Preston to sit in this position so that Shane can tire out his arms, because it's a very taxing position to have your elbows that high, as his arms are constantly in an upright row position. I also like that Preston has some good chest pressure. With this chest pressure, this is keeping Shane flat on his back, stopping him from moving his hips. Preston even has the gall to give us a little wink from this position. As mentioned earlier, Preston has some pretty long limbs in comparison to Shane. The reason I mention this is because in top half guard position, it lets you have additional chokes that shorter arm people won't necessarily have. You can look towards anacondas, darces, or guillotines. The guillotines are fine for shorter arms, but the other two are a little bit harder if you don't have long arms. And Preston's looking for a darce attack at this time. He's scooping the back of the head in, and he's also connecting his hands towards his bicep. Now, if you're looking to try and finish the darce, you want to try and drop to your left shoulder, but just a little bit. This will turn his neck, and then you can push your chest forward. By pushing your chest forward, compressing your chest and arms together, and leaning on their neck, you're going to get a really tight squeeze and a little bit of a crank. Preston pretty much has all of these things solved, he just needs to apply them all together. And I can tell for Shane, it's getting dark underneath as Preston's finally deciding he's going to go, and he goes for the complete compression and he gets the tap. Great job by Preston getting that submission. I love to see darce chokes, especially on the channel, because they're so closely related to the guillotine. Shane's looking a little bit tired here, but I like his effort that he's had so far. I always get asked a lot about how you can contact me, and the best way to contact me is to follow me on Instagram. Whether it's just questions about competition, jiu-jitsu, sponsors, seminars, etc., that is probably the best way to reach me, and you can also see some mediocre posts from me from time to time. Preston can sense the blood in the water by Shane tiring out, so he shoves into the wall and he's going to start looking towards a snap down. Shane has his butt against the wall and his head way too far forward and is also under Preston's head. This allows Preston to get an easy snap down right down to the mat, and he's going to continue to take advantage of Shane from this bad position. It's important when in the front head, you want to keep your opponent extended, so you want to get off your knees and on your toes so you can start dragging them. This way, it'll be really hard for them to move and you can move around them. Preston's going to move behind Shane as he goes for a smooth back take. He gets behind him, puts the first hook in first, which is a rare sight, and then he rolls him over and quickly attains the back half position. I see purple belts all the time put the wrong hook in first, so it's really surprising to me that the white belt put the correct hook in first and he so easily took the back and he's already trying to work for a new choke. He even decides to transition off a back half and work towards the body triangle, which again is really a smart decision because of his long frame. From the body triangle, now he can compress the ribs of Shane and make it extremely uncomfortable for this position. So what does Shane need to do? He needs to keep his left hand engaged and fight the choking hand, then he can use his right hand to fight the knee. Once you can fight the knee, then you can hop over to the other side, or if you're more advanced, you could do one of Gordon Ryan's escapes that he has for free on YouTube. So maybe that's what Shane should be doing, but what Preston should be doing is a lot of hand fighting and trying to capture the hands. If they have both hands available, it's going to be tough to finish any rear naked choke because they're constantly going to be peeling your hands. So if Preston were to let go of the figure 4 and try and trap the left arm of Shane, this would make it a much easier submission. He's trying to go over the face, and this certainly can be done, but it would definitely piss your partner off. So really be cautious if you're going to use that technique, depending on who you're going on, because I know if I were to do it to my professor, he would absolutely smash me after that one. Somehow Shane defended all of those chokes, and I've seen some really good energy between these two white belts. I love filming guys that are very active in their roles and they're both trying to win the entire time. So while Shane may be a newer white belt and Preston's a 4-stripe white belt, it was still a good showing from both of them. But it does bring us towards the end of the round. So if you appreciate the video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And also thank you to my current viewers and patrons. I appreciate everybody that watches my videos. But before you go, if you want to look extremely stylish doing jiu-jitsu or other sports, then make sure to check out xmartial.com from my link in the description below, so you can get awesome gear like I have, and you can use promotion code Tyler10 to save extra money.